Hello and welcome to Club 8 Part 7 of the Pilgrimage. My name is Jamie. Coming up on today's episode I have got two games for you. We are at home to Cremonese in Serie A and then at home to Parma in Serie A. Since you were last with me, we've been in near perfect form. As you'll recall, the matches on the last episode were against Rangers and Moscow in the Champions League, and since then we've played 8 games and we've won 7 of them. So we've been in absolutely unstoppable form, and Franceschini's been a key contributor to that, as you can see. So let's get straight into the Cremonese game, and I'll show you the team for that one in just a moment. Okay, so the team for the match against Cremonese is Iñaki Peña in goal, back four of Vitashek, Romero, Kumbula and Veindel. It's Del Grosso at the base of midfield, Bongazzoni and Fanavong ahead of him, Pedro on the right, Brahim Diaz on the left and Franceschini up front. So let's submit the team and go and give our team talk. Okay, well the assistant is recommending, I think we need to show everyone their recent praises justify put on a real show. Given that we're in absolutely imperious form, I disagree with him. I think stick to the plan, stay patient and we'll be fine. So we'll outstretch the arms and go with that, and let's go into the tunnel, do our tunnel interviews. Weather out there is less than ideal. How will that affect the match? We can adapt. Always helps to be as prolific as your team have been recently, right? Certainly not complaining. Scoring goals is always fun. Looks like Thomas Vitashek might be asked to play a different role today. He's got the quality to adapt. Okay, let's get into the match. I will just very quickly check the match settings and make sure they're right, and they are, so it's all good. And as always, we'll let the first 10 minutes decide on any tactical interventions. Veindel to Del Grosso to Brahim. Pedro plays it through to Franceschini, and he's looking for support, plays it back to Bongazzoni who crosses. Brahim gets on the end of it but he's offside and it won't count. So we're still not 10 minutes in yet, but we've had a very positive start. So I think an encourage at this point is probably the right move. So that's what we're going to do, and it's a Milan highlight again. Fanavong picks up the throw-in. Del Grosso to Bongazzoni. Vendel's cross. Franceschini hits the crossbar. Pedro's cross is cleared, and it's Chuki who puts it out of play, and the highlight comes to an end. We are absolutely all over Cremonese at the moment. I think we're going to go attacking just to try and drive that home. And let's see, it's Romero with the corner. The header hits the crossbar, and can we smuggle it over the line? No, we can't. Kumbula to Bongazzoni. Fanavong, Del Grosso chipped into the box, headed away. Del Grosso back to Veindel, and the highlight does come to an end. We are absolutely smashing them at the moment. Just the only thing missing is a goal. And what do we need to do? I think we go back to positive and we hit demand more. I think we need something out of them. Here we go, corner, Veindel with the in-swinger, and the header comes back off the woodwork and is put into the net by Franceschini. There is an appeal for offside. I don't see how he can be, given the bun fight on the goal line. The goal's been given. It is 1-0. and that should bring us back to within touching distance of the lead at the top of the table. Free kick to Milan, Vendel with it, round the wall, hits the woodwork and cleared. And it's another free kick. Brahim Diaz this time into the area. It's cleared again, but Romero collects. He crosses to Brahim Diaz, who feeds it through to Pedro, who wastes the opportunity. We are absolutely dominating this first half, which is at an end now. 1-0 at half time. So, doing well, but can definitely find another gear. I think that's what we need to do. And substitution wise, Fanavong is the obvious candidate to come off. Vitinha is a good shout, but Helge Larsson is an even better one. Vitinha is more suited to the defensive midfield role. So I think what I'll do, I'll drop Del Grosso back and take Kumbula off for Vitinha. So we'll do a double substitution at half time, and we'll save one for the second half. We'll demand more again, see if we can just get a little bit more out of the lads. We are ahead and only a point now off the league leaders, but that was a close call from Cremonese, so they are not giving this one up yet. Are Inter playing, and how are they getting on? They are drawing 0-0 away to Fiorentina. So we do actually have the chance to draw level at the top if Fiorentina can do us a complete favour and beat Inter. But we have to hold our end of the bargain and complete the victory for that to transpire as well. Right, Brahim Diaz needs to come off, and we'll bring on Rafael Leao. The corner into the area, Christian Romero with the header for Milan, and it is Milan 2, Cremonese 0, and as the commentator says, surely that's game over. I will let you see this one actually. It's a nicely flicked header past the outstretched arms of the goalkeeper. Yes, we want to make that final change with about 17 minutes left. And it looks like we're going to see this one out comfortably. Duran being taken off for treatment. It's a Cremonese throw. They've given it to Romero. Vitinha to Vitashek into Pedro. He plays it through for Franceschini, who buries the chance for his 29th goal of the season. And that's 3-0 Milan, and if it wasn't over before, with only 10 minutes left, it is now. And Fiorentina 0, Inter 0 is still the latest score. So we are still awaiting the full favour from Fiorentina, but a 0-0 is not a bad result in that one. Pedro, it's crossed in, and that looks like a penalty. And who's going to take the penalty? I'm assuming it's going to be given, and it is. And it is Franceschini. He's hit it straight at the goalkeeper, who collects the rebound. So the penalty was missed. And quite why we're seeing a goal line replay, I have no idea, but there you go. We're into stoppage time, and it is still Fiorentina 0, Inter 0, and that's full time. So 3-0 to us at the full time whistle. I'll be back in a moment with the second match of today's episode. Okay, time now for the second match of today's episode as we face Parma in Serie A. The team for this one: Pena in goal. Back four of Vendel, Kumbula, Romero and Kosis-Koval. Del Grosso at the base of midfield. Fanavong and Bongazzoni ahead of him. Diaz on the left. Leao on the right. Franceschini up front. Let's submit the team and go and give our team talk. Okay, well the assistant is recommending pick up where you left off last time out. I think that's entirely reasonable in the circumstances. So we just need to find an appropriate reaction to deliver that message. I think we go with pointing the finger. Need it to be fairly assertive. So we'll do that. And let's go into the tunnel, complete our tunnel interview. Milan were impressive last time out against Cremonese. How do you carry that form into this match? Momentum, simple as that. How good's the mood in the camp? We're in a great place, the atmosphere is really strong. It's a chance for them to go out and make a real statement. Okay, let's get into the match. As always, we'll let the first 10 minutes decide how we intervene, if at all. And it is a free kick to Milan. The header over the top, and it's a goal kick to Parma, but the highlight comes to an end. So we are 1 point adrift of Inter, and they are away to Sampdoria, so a bit tougher challenge for them this time. So hopefully we can get another favour and we can take advantage of it as well. We've had much the better of the opening 13 minutes, so let's demand more and see if we can ram home that advantage. It is Romero with the corner for Milan, headed away as far as Vendel, who finds Romero again. His ball back to Fanavong. He finds Vendel to Fanavong. Romero to Del Grosso, Bongazzoni to Franceschini, hits the crossbar, and the clearance reaches halfway, but is only as far as Kosis-Koval, and the highlight breaks down. So, no obvious candidates for substitution at this stage. Obviously we wouldn't make them now, we would wait till half time anyway, injury notwithstanding of course. Fanavong to Bongazzoni into Leao, ball over the top, Franceschini dinks the keeper and hits the post. And another chance goes begging. Del Grosso doesn't win it back, but does force them backwards. Rinaldi launches it for Parma. Romero's under it, plays it back to Iñaki Pena. Kumbula forward to Fanavong. Bongazzoni into Franceschini, who turns, hits the shot, and it's through the goalkeeper. It is Milan 1, Parma 0. And it's his 150th league goal apparently. So we'll just watch the replay just to see the quality behind this finish. He absolutely thrashed it through the keeper's defences. 1-0 to Milan. And that at the moment is enough to put us top of the league. Romero's corner, headed on, but Kumbula gets too much on it and it's over the top. So how are Inter doing at the moment? I don't know, I didn't find it quickly enough. We'll have a look again in a minute. Jesus to Saavedra, and the attack from Parma is thwarted by the goalkeeper, but they do get a corner out of it. Outswinger from Chevelle and headed clear by Fanavong. But they get it back, Chevelle again, and he is offside. So that highlight will break down. And Inter are currently losing 1-0 to Sampdoria, which is why we are 2 points clear at the top. So they'll need to score twice to dislodge us at the moment as it stands. Iñaki Peña making the save there from another Parma attack, so I think a demand more at this point is sensible. Chauvel's corner headed away. Jesus should get there and does. Finds Chauvel again. Back to Saavedra. Jesus to Tassi, and the highlight comes to an end. We have been much the better team, but we don't have many more shots on target to show for that. And there have been more goals. I still didn't see the Inter score there. So the team talk at half time, going well, capable of better. I think that's entirely fair. Do we need a sub at half time? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think we do. And it's going to be Veindel. And coming on, we'll go with, let's see, Duran. Duran's not a bad shout. Vitashek's a better one. So we'll go with Vitashek. And I will make that do at the moment. So we'll start the second half. Give them a demand more. As Romero takes it up, finds Bongazzoni into Leao. Back to Bongazzoni to Del Grosso into Fanavong. All the way back to the goalkeeper, who's got all the time in the world. Finds Romero into Bongazzoni. Leao under pressure but spins out of it. Crossfield ball to Brahim Diaz. His shot is saved by the keeper. Franceschini pulls it back, but it's cleared easily by Parma. And I think my next change is actually going to be Franceschini once this highlight is over. Del Grosso to Vitasek. Brahim Diaz into Franceschini. Brahim Diaz through to Fanavong, who hits the shot over the top. So it will be Franceschini to come off. And coming on, Pedro. And we'll wait for the decision about the final substitution for a good while yet. Unless anything immediately obvious comes to pass. Chauvel plays it through, and they're through on goal. It's a brilliant save though by Iñaki Peña to keep the score at 1-0 to Milan. So I think a demand more at this point is probably wise, as the corner is headed away by Romero. Jesus to Chauvel. He's got loads of room and is forced back to Saavedra. Jesus is cleared by Vitashek, and it comes to an end. And still no immediately obvious third and final sub, but with only an hour gone, I don't want to be making it just yet. As Kumbula wins it, finds Vitashek into Fanavong, back to Del Grosso. Kumbula again, so we're going backwards. Fanavong to Bongazzoni to Brahim Diaz. Fanavong's ball forward is cleared, but Kumbula will win it back. Finds Fanavong into Brahim Diaz. Back to Del Grosso to Vitashek. Brahim Diaz to Del Grosso. Down the left wing for Brahim Diaz. He's robbed though. Jesus to Tassi. Back to his keeper. And Kumbula wins it back again for Milan. Del Grosso's ball forward to Rafael Leao. And it's a goal kick to Parma. Question is, final substitution. Verdict is going to be Brahim Diaz, as Marash Kumbula makes it 2-0 to Milan and probably wraps up the win. From the corner, we'll show you the goal. Ball in, header. We've seen that goal a load of times previously, and I think in fact we're going to go Bongazzoni off for Helge Larsen. And Vitti plays it forward. It's all the way through off the Parma striker to our goalkeeper. Kumbula now to Vitashek. Brahim Diaz to Vitashek again. Del Grosso to Fanavong, who plays it forward for Pedro. Pedro puts it in the back of the net. This has a feel of one that might be disallowed. Is it going to be 3-0? It is 3-0. The goal is awarded. And it's Pedro with his 19th of the season. We'll watch the replay, see how close to offside it was. I don't think it's actually that close when we get to see the tight offside replay. No, there's clear daylight. He's miles onside. And a confident finish for 3-0. So we are 3 subs down, so no more subs left. I think an encourage at this stage is reasonable. We're into the last 15 minutes now and still winning, although the lead is down to 1 point. So that tells me that they have found an equaliser, even though I can't see it on the screen at the moment. Sampdoria 1, Inter 1. So they have found an equaliser. Romero's corner in, headed away. Larsen should get there, does. Finds Kumbula to Romero. Back to Kumbula. Vitashek into Romero to Brahim Diaz. Vitashek to Romero. Larsen to Fanavong. Ball over the top for Leao. His volley into the back of the net. Is it 4 or is it disallowed? There's another VAR review for offside. This one I think is going to be tighter, and it is disallowed this time. So it remains 3-0. And we will watch just to see how close it was. He's just as offside as the previous one was onside. So into the last 5 minutes, 3-0 to Milan. Confident that we're going to wrap the game up easily at this point. Into stoppage time, 4 added minutes signalled. And that is all but up now. And there we go, full time, Milan 3, Parma 0. I'll be back in a moment to show you the business we did in the transfer window, and then to do the league tables and to tell you what's coming up on the next episode. Okay, time now to round up the transfer business that we've done since the summer transfer window closed. Now that the January window is also closed, we've only brought in 1 player, and that is Angel Duran. As you can see, we've let 6 players go, so we've trimmed the squad with only Mikel Diaz from the first team squad leaving, and he was a fringe player anyway. So let's have a look at Angel Duran and show you the player we've brought in. Paid £15 million for him from Cadiz, but once again it's a structured deal, so not as much as that up front. And this is Angel Duran, and he's a 2.5 star central defender, and 2.5 star potential ability as well. So he's not going to get any better, but is a very, very reasonable backup. And as you can see, has already made his Milan debut, played 2 games and scored 2 goals. So he looks like a decent acquisition. He's got some very favourable assets on him as well. And so that's our squad complete for the rest of the season. I'll be back in a moment to show you the league tables and also the Champions League group table to show you how that one went. Okay, let's have a look at the Serie A league table then. And as you can see, we have leapfrogged Inter into top spot, with them having failed to win either of their last 2 games. We now lead them by 2 points. So we've got 56 points from 22 games played, 18 wins, 2 draws, just the 2 defeats. And let's have a look next at the Champions League table. Okay, well, as you can see, we topped our Champions League group with 6 wins out of 6, so a perfect record of 18 points. We're joined in the knockout stages by Rangers, and CSKA Moscow will go into the Europa League, and Club Brugge's European campaign is over. I'll be back in a moment to tell you what's coming up on the next episode. Okay, time now to take a look at the fixtures and decide when we're going to come back. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back and show you, because we're playing Juventus in the Coppa Italia, I will do Juventus away in that competition. I will then play Torino off camera, and I'll then come back for the Champions League first knockout round game, the away leg against Shakhtar, and that will be on tomorrow's episode. So if you've enjoyed that, please leave a nice thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for Monday to Friday Football Manager videos. Don't forget to leave me a comment as well. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.